Today is March 6th, 2024. Would you please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We welcome everyone here tonight. We've got a good crowd. Our first item tonight is approval of the minutes from the February 21st commission meeting. Are there any corrections to that?
I did not see any corrections. No discussion. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the commission meeting minutes from the February 21st meeting.
I'll step down a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 2, Employee of the Month, Kellie Payne.
Good afternoon, commissioners. I am excited for our March 2024 Employee of the Month. It's actually Scott Olson. He has been employed with Carbon County for 17 years. He started in March of 2007, and Scott was nominated by Art Poland. He's a gentleman who frequently visits the gun range. Art stated that he drives from the Utah Valley to come here and shoot because of the superior service, cheery personality, and Scott's dedication and drive to go above and beyond. I would also like to add that Scott is amazing at his job and that you can truly tell that he loves what he does. And I just want to say thank you for providing exceptional service and being a dedicated employee. You can say something if you want to, but you don't have to.
I appreciate being nominated and selected. Like I was telling them, it was probably a slow month for nomination. No, we appreciate everybody and what we all do together, and just keep it on.
I like it.
There it is.
Well, thank you, Scott. Appreciate your help out at the gun range.
No, it's just you. I know.
I will add too that last year was the first year that we had both the amount of people coming out to visit that facility and the revenue, the highest levels we've had. So appreciate the work that's going on out there. I know it's all to come and see Scott, but some people do shoot when they go out there as well. So thank you.
Thanks again, Scott. Item 3 is a Super Service Award, Tina Grange.
Hello, commissioners. So the person that was nominated and chosen was actually nominated 2 times, twice this round. So I will read both of those nominations. The first one is, I have personally witnessed Bree go far and above to make customers feel at home. A lot of the clientele she waits on and serves are from out of town. She has an infectious, happy personality that goes over well to everyone she comes in contact with. The other nomination, I work with Bree. She is a great team member, manager, and takes great care of all the patrons. She goes out of her way to provide great service to all. She works hard to create a great atmosphere at the bar. She is always trying new promotions for all to enjoy. She loves meeting new people, making them her friend, and retaining their repeat business. She is an outstanding super server provider to us and this community. So I'm happy to present the Super Service Award to Brianna Gray with Downtown Sports Bar. Gift cards, all the things. Her friends are taking photos. You can say something if you want, and then you'll turn over and get your photo from.
I just want to say that I love what I do, and I'm grateful that I get to do it.
Well, thank you. Folks, it's Bree. It's people like you, Bree, that make visits to the local restaurants and facilities welcome, and it's a big deal for all of us, so thank you.
Yeah.
Item 4 is open sealed bids for request for qualifications for the trails coordinator. Tina.
Well, tell us what it is while Seth opens
Okay.
the bids.
Awesome. So as you all know, we have been busy and happily working on our destination development plan since it all came to fruition in 2018. Making leaps and bounds on that plan. Way further ahead than we thought we would be, but one thing where we are behind is in our trail development. And so that's a really big focus for us this year, working with our tax advisory board and getting their ideas on how to further those efforts. And so some funding was approved for this year to hire a trails coordinator or trails coordination. It's a one-year contract position to have either a person or a firm come in and just really do the nuts and bolts of what we need as far as trail development. So that's reviewing our current inventory, our needs on what we have. So maintenance, signage, some of our trails are washed out, and those types of issues. Then we also want this person to help us coordinate a trails committee that works under Carbon County. And they would have, bylaws and all of those things. And we did have somebody come visit us to ask a little bit more information on the RFQ. And everybody right away, they want to build trails, right? And to be honest with you, we probably will not build trails in 2024 because we have a lot of this pre-work that we have to do. And so jumping ahead to building trails would be a big mistake unless we have some processes in place on how we go forward with adding to our destination. Very important to add to our destination. We have what we have and it's wonderful and we love it and it's great. A lot of it is in need of repair. And so we want to focus on that. And then once we have all that this first year, then we can start to build new trails, new trail projects to add to our destination to make it more enticing for our locals and then also for people that visit. So we're excited to start this next step.
Thank you.
Okay, Seth, what do we got?
We have two bids. The first one is from Jones and DeMille, and they both have rates. But one has rates for example of GIS data gathering, and then it says anticipated cost $13,200, and then this other one has just hourly rates. So I'm not sure you can compare the rates. Might just have to have somebody look a little closer at them. So the first one's from Jones and DeMille, and the second one's from Point Strategies.
Okay. Any questions or discussion?
No, I think it's a good cause and definitely be some value. I think maybe we just, I'd make a motion that we acknowledge both bids, let Shani, Tina, and Commissioner Hopes review and award to the best value.
I'll step down a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I will add too that we will have a group from our tax advisory board that actually will score these, and but we'll all be a part of the process.
Perfect.
Awesome.
That was good. Thank you. I failed to mention Commissioner Hopes today is not with us because he's at an aviation conference. There's a lot of things going on at our airport with the university, and so we're trying to stay engaged, and he's away helping with that. Item 5 would be to open sealed bids for a Meals on Wheels truck for the senior center.
We have one bid for this. This is from Auto Farm for a 2023 Ram 1500 Bighorn, $43,606, and the miles are 1,495 miles.
So was this for just a truck without a bed, or did this have a bed on it?
Come on up,
yeah,
Rebecca.
You're here, sorry.
Yeah, so we decided to just put a bid in just for the truck. Robbie put a bid in last time for the whole thing, and I don't think there were any bids that came in that case, because there isn't anyone who does the beds anyway, the boxes, yeah. So we'd have to send them out. So we started just with the truck and then would send it out. So, yeah,
So this is
Just the
half
truck.
of the project.
yeah, half the project.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. If there's no questions, I'd step down and make a motion that we accept that bid and move forward with the purchase to get that so it can be moved on to the folks that put the bid on it.
And I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 6 is open sealed bids for mosquito abatement for the weed department.
I don't show that we received any bids for this item.
Okay. It's pretty common each year we put these out and we don't get anybody to respond. So typically what we would do is have our weed supervisor, Chris Rowley, make phone calls when he makes an order to several places that supply and use the lowest bid for purchasing those.
So, should we say that's a motion, or would you like me
I'll step down and make that a motion.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 7 is open seal bids for snowmobile for the search and rescue for Sheriff Wood.
We have 3 bids for this item.
Seth, was one of those from the previous meeting that was open?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I might mention that there was a bid turned in at our last meeting in error. The company sent it in, and so we've just saved it for tonight.
This first one is from Ridge Line Motorsports out of Vernal, I believe. It's for a 2024 Ski-Doo. The total cost they have here is $15,048.
This machine is used by search and rescue to go out and save people.
This one is from Jorgensen's out of Richfield. It's for a 2024 Polaris 850 RMK. And total cost is $20,299. Says that there is a government discount for $2,600, which would make the total $17,699.
As Commissioner Jensen said too, this is for the search and rescue, and the funds were raised through the search or the demolition derby as well. So these are not tax dollars. Just wanted to make that very clear. That the Cletus doesn't get to go drag in Maine on a new snow machine. So
We actually just had a rescue. Gentlemen were on the snowmobile, and they got the slush and couldn't go, and they couldn't walk off, so our commander was up there and we sent 2 deputies up.
Thank you.
This one is from Carl Malone Power Sports of Provo. This is for just as a 2024 Ski-Doo, and total cost is $16,020.
Any question or discussion?
no, I would make a motion that we acknowledge all 3 bids and turn these over to Sheriff Wood and Commissioner Hopes to review and move forward with a snow machine of the best value.
I'll step down in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 8 is consideration and possible approval of a $500 donation to the 2024 graduation spectacular. So we've, in the past few years, contributed to grad spec, they call it, where there's an activity lined up for all the kids in high school to keep them out of trouble on graduation night. So it's probably a good use of our tax dollars.
Absolutely. And this is just an ongoing we've done over the years. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve the $500 donation to the 2024 graduation spectacular.
I'll step down in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Item 9 is consideration and possible adoption of Ordinance 577, a change to the Carbon County zoning district map from R-1-20K to R-2-8K, located on a portion of parcel 02-0477-0000. Todd, why don't you come up and give us a brief explanation there and recommendation from the Planning Commission?
So this parcel is located in Spring Glen, on the corner of 4300 North and 2000 West. The current zoning for it now is residential R 20,000. So one residential unit per 20,000 square feet of property. The proposal was to change the zone to an R2 8,000, which would allow twin homes to be developed on 8,000 square foot minimum lots. Actually, the development code requires 12,500 square feet for twin homes. It was presented to our planning commission at our February meeting. Our planning commission gave it a positive recommendation. They've also submitted a subdivision in order to potentially build those homes if it's approved. If it's not approved, then the subdivision wouldn't be able to move forward. So the idea with the zone change is to allow up to 6 duplexes, twin homes, to be built there on that piece of property. The twin homes would be approximately 1,200 square feet, and they would be joined by a common wall or a roof line, depending on the layout and the design moving forward. So the idea is to allow for more affordable housing within the community, allow for hopefully a lower price point for people to get into some home ownership. And so being able to do the twin homes and change the zone would allow that development to move forward.
So you did have some folks come to your planning and zoning meeting and kind of voice some concern.
Yep.
Could you kind of just touch on what those concerns were?
So a lot of the concern is they want to keep the Spring Glen community area more of a farming area. They like more of the hay fields and some of those things of Spring Glen. So that's one thing that we have to be aware of, is there is some areas that people like to have more of that open space. We weigh that with what is the property owner trying to do. So there was some concerns with that. We don't have this area, we don't have as many issues with traffic. They'll have 2 roads to access north and south this, so it won't create too much of a traffic problem. But a lot of it was worried about the rural nature of the community changing with additional development.
Thank you.
I have no questions for Todd.
I will say that the reason I brought that question up is because some folks reached out to me as well and wanted to acknowledge their concerns, but also at the same time, people have a right to do what they want with their land as long as they're following the state code, county codes as well. So as you've reviewed it and as your commission has reviewed it, you haven't found any problems or errors with it, but just want to acknowledge that people's voices were heard.
Yeah. Thank you. And it's always tough, especially for the planning commission. They're always faced with tough decisions. Our general plan is a little outdated, so it doesn't give us a lot of great guidelines when zone changes come forward. And so we're always stuck with balancing in between development and what's existing there, and always trying to help what's best for the community. So that's where the planning commission weighed those concerns and what was presented and thought some affordable housing could be useful for the community.
I agree that we do have this project that is offering an option that's not been provided previously to folks to maybe get into a home that couldn't otherwise. I also have found it interesting that the 5 years that we've been here, and as projects for development come through the Planning Commission and also then to us, that there's always someone who doesn't want anything in their backyard. And if we're going to grow in our community, we've got to be tolerant of some of these projects. And I suppose we can expect that it doesn't matter what is proposed, we'll have opposition to it. So, but the landowners have rights as well as everybody. So I'll step down and make a motion that we approve Ordinance 577, a change to the Carbon County zoning district map from R-1-20K to R-2-8K, located on a parcel of property number 02-0477-0000.
And I will second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks,
the
Todd.
Planning Commission too. They're doing a good job. Item 10 is discussion with Price City officials regarding upcoming Price City ZAP, zoo, arts, and parks tax renewal requirements and process. Nick Tatton.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us tonight. I know you've seen some of the preliminary materials, and the quick update is that the recreation tax, the ZAP tax, is a voter authorized tax. The original was 8 years. Then the reauthorizations are in 10-year cycles. We're in the cycle where it's time to reauthorize that. Part of that process is our meeting with you here tonight. Subsequent to this, the city will be passing a resolution outlining the steps in the process, and also approving what's called a letter of intent that we'll deliver to you in another week or so. And at that time, we'll be requesting that the county commission pass a resolution in support of that letter of intent. And that will put us on a track to do all of the work to prepare for the ballot question this year for that. It's a 1/10 of a cent on sales tax. And I think you've seen some of the list of the projects that's been used on. Lisa's here from our finance department, and she can probably speak to every one of those down to the penny for us if we'd like to know those. And so you know those funds are all restricted for that use only, the recreation use. You know, big things like the pool, the remodel, the indoor pool, upcoming things, ball field lights over the years, you know, parks and recs. So really been a very, very vital component of the city's capital programs and ability to operate the parks and rec facilities. So be happy to answer any questions you might have on that process. Just wanted to, you know, kind of run through the formality of the presentation. And of course, we have the city posse here to help answer any questions politically or technically that you might have. So.
One thing I just want to ask real quick, as you mentioned about a ballot too, can you kind of explain that process and how that'll work? So,
sure. So we'll be working with the county to put the question on the ballot this fall that'll say, for the residents of Price, would you reauthorize the imposition of this sales tax? The value to that is we pay some of it ourselves, but a lot of visitors to our community also pay some of that help with those facilities. And so over the course of the next 6 months, we'll be preparing that. There'll be what's called a pamphlet that we'll prepare and distribute. We can't, the city itself can't promote and say, rah, 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 we need to buy ads and go vote for this. We present the information in a kind of an unbiased way in that regard. And once the vote is hopefully successful, the last two times, the initial and the reauthorization were both in excess of 90% approval. So we feel the community does support it and understand the need for it. I think, Lisa, help me out with implementation date. Once the vote's approved, it becomes, is it April of 25? Yeah, so about April 1st of 25 is when that reauthorization would take place. And then, again, 10 years from now, we'll be back in the same cycle again, so.
So the tax is collected just on things that are sold in Price City limits. Is that correct, or is it countywide?
I think it's within the city only, just within the city boundaries.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that is a restricted money. So you know, when there's a, you know, I guess recreation, you could use it to buy a playground equipment, but you couldn't use it necessarily for road maintenance or to buy police vehicles or something like that. And you know, if we do have, Lisa does have all the accounting on that over the years to you know, to show the reporting and stuff. So it's been quite a very good thing for the community. And reviewing the list in preparation for tonight, I had forgotten how many things we were able to do and fund because of that tax that otherwise would have probably not happened or still been pending. So it's really been helpful for the community.
So should I put you on the spot and have you list them all in chronological order? I'm joking.
The answer is no.
Good answer.
But yeah, so that's the thing. And so we're really not asking for an action or anything tonight, other than just, you know, your head nod of support on the process. And I think, Lynn, you may have seen the form of that resolution. And so the city council will take its actions on the 13th. Literally on the 14th, we'll be delivering those documents and that formal request for your meeting on the 20th, I believe it is, for that resolution, for the county resolution.
Okay.
So.
Well, sounds like a good thing for the community.
It has been, and you know, as you talk to folks and folks reach out to you, you know, feel free to refer them to any of us that would be happy to go through that list with them and show them what, you know, what's happened over the years.
So it's 0.1%.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to, if I knew the dollar amount that results in, but we could know that. It's about how much a year?
It says 209,000 to 295,000.
Yeah, I was going to say close to 300,000 a year is what that amount of money turns out to be. So.
No more questions.
Yeah, no more questions. So
Thank
you for having us tonight.
Thanks for your presentation.
appreciate you guys coming.
Committee meeting, just so that we can get all on the same page, so we're not holding him up. When do you need to have the ballot? When do you need to have this lieutenant governor and everything, so we stay on top of all that, know all the time with that. So.
Yep, reach out to him. Thanks, Lisa. The next item is adjourn as the Cardin County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Board of Adjustments.
I will make a motion that we adjourn as the Carbon County Board of Commissioners and convene as the Board of Adjustments.
And I'll step down and second that. So we're now convened as a Board of Adjustments. The item is, we'll let everybody get out. The item to consider tonight is consideration and possible approval of waiving the remaining property tax balance on parcel 02-2365-0003. And this taxpayer has struggled to pay their full tax, and as they visited with Commissioner Hopes, it's been determined and recommended that we waive the remaining tax that's been accruing. It's the amount is $1,455.53.
Did we want to talk about kind of a personal life of what's going on, or just do we need to go there?
If you'd like, I don't think it matters.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. I guess all I wanted to make a point is there is good reason for doing this. It's not just because.
Yeah.
So I will.
Just 1 second. The Board of Commissioners have the responsibility when it comes to taxes. We have the right to reduce or waive any tax. And so when folks come in and there's a genuine hardship beyond the normal abatements that are available through the clerk's office for their taxes to be reduced, and in this case, there was some health issues, and so we have that right and charged to consider these. And we've not done very many of these while we've been here, but occasionally they do come in. So.
And this person had made several attempts, and had made payments, just wasn't able to keep up because of health issues. So I'll go ahead and make a motion then that we waive the remaining property balance on parcel 02-2365-0003.
And I'll step down a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Seth, is this something that you guys would send a note to them, or how would that work?
Yeah, generally we'll send them a corrected notice just so they know that there's, at this point, nothing owing.
Okay, perfect. And they've committed to continue paying. This isn't a free ride forever. So the next item is also regarding a tax issue, and this is consideration and possible approval to change the tax status on the following parcels in Aspen Cove subdivision. 2A-0051-0098 and 2A-0051-0097 and parcel 2A-0051-0099, parcel 2A-0051-0100, parcel 2A-0051-0096, parcel 2A-0051-0045, parcel 2A-0051-0052, parcel 2A-0054-0120, parcel 2A-0071-0023, and last, parcel 2A-0071-0022. And maybe I could address this one. The assessor's office added value to these parcels. They are common properties of the Aspen Cove subdivision. They, in some cases, appear to be a potential building lot, but in conversing with the planning department, each phase of Aspen Cove subdivision was required to include common area for the development requirements. And so all of these parcels are either sections of road or parcels that were designated for common use of all those who own parcels up there. And what happens in this instance is that the value of these properties end up being spread out over everyone who owns lots and cabins in this subdivision. So the tax is picked up that way, but not charged to each of these parcels. Anything to add?
No, I appreciate that explanation. So since you read that, I'll make a motion. This might take a minute. To approve the change on the tax status on the following parcels in Aspen Cove subdivision. A2-0051-0098, 2A, -0051-0097, 2A-0051-0099, 2A-0051-0100, 2A-0051-0096, 2A-0051-0045, 2A-0051-0052, 2A-0054-0120, 2A-0071-0023, and 2A-0071-002. Would you like me to repeat those?
2 on the end of that last one. No, that's enough. I'll step down and second motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I'll step down and make a motion to adjourn the Board of Adjustments and convene as a Carbon County Board of Commissioners.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Item 15 on our agenda is an assessor department update, and we've determined we're going to table that for this meeting and bring it up later. So
Make a motion that we table the assessor department update.
I'll step down and second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Thanks, everybody.